Yo, what's up, Base Group? Make sure I'm saying it first. Oh, yeah, never mind. I gotta fix it because, we have an update. Never mind. I gotta fix it because, we have an update. I'm so tired to mix it up. I'm really wanting to get away from it. It seems like every time I go to launch it, there's an update that does not allow it to launch normally. I'm just so ingrained in what Mix It Up offers that switching would take me like a week, given the time that I have to work on anything. To be able to move, it's such a daunting task. It actually scares me. It's the reason I haven't upgraded my mic software to the better version of it, because it's like you have to start over from nothing. I just don't understand. Like every time they have an update, it's like, oh, the app will not launch unless you update. But that completely breaks how every other piece of software I use for streaming works. Like, it's just not in line with anything else. And now it's taking like 5 evers to start. It's so ridiculous. Sorry guys, I don't mean to ramble super early in the morning. What the heck is going on? It's happened twice now, though. That's my problem. It's happened twice, maybe 3 times. But twice recently, within the last like 2 or 3 weeks. I have to go and like find the command. But I don't even know where I'm okay. User could not be found. What is that? I guess that works because it didn't fail. That's so weird. Alright, now we have to like refresh a bunch of stuff related to Mix It Up. Just to make sure it's gonna work. Y'all, it's like when I have to go and babysit this much, I don't want to use it. Like that's where I'm at. Like it's just like I want to get to talking to chat and either talking game news, going through the content that we have lined up for the day, or playing a game. I don't want to sit here and have to troubleshoot so often. So I actually may be looking at moving off of Mix It Up entirely very soon, because it's just getting ridiculous. Like I don't know that these updates, like why does the update process not let me use the software until it updates? And why does their Discord fail to notify people of these like major updates? In fact, I'm gonna go look. While I'm trying to get everything else started as well. It's the same thing with like how the chat service I use will just disconnect from TikTok and then reconnect and reload all the chats. I'm like, oh well, this isn't helpful. I guess. All right. Anyway, well, if you're watching, wherever you're watching today, thanks for being here. Rocket, thanks for being here. I see the likes. I appreciate it. Good morning. Morning, chat. How's it going? We had a rough start. I was late. And then now we're 6 minutes in, and I had to like debug the stream. Hey, thanks for the heartbeat. It's a big change log. It's just, what the heck? The mandatory roll-up release of all previous versions. So weird. 3:30 p.m. for you. Morning. What's up, Daniel? Thanks for joining us. You're ending your workday, huh? You're over there with Dan. Daniel O'Brien? Question mark? I don't know. Welcome in. Alright. Well, I guess I've complained enough. See, it also broke the stream deck. Dag blasted. Because it doesn't refresh the stream deck either. What's up, Marine Corps? Welcome to the stream. Good to see everybody in chat. All right, everything else is working. We can muddy through. But good lord, like why is this such a headache today?
Welcome back.
There, it seems to have refreshed. All right, now let's try this. Let it all out. You don't want ulcers. No, you hold it in, and then you take it out when you're like trying to fix the mower or whatever, or fix the. You know, you're trying to like change your oil in your truck, and it's uncooperative, so you hit the crap out of it with a socket wrench. Okay, now that seems to be working. That's good. That's very nice. All right, chat, how we doing today? Happy Wednesday. Trying to get back to the normal schedule, but you know, partly my fault. None of my alarms go off anymore. They make zero noise, even though I have set them all to make noises. And I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if anybody else with an iPhone is having that issue, but none of my alarms scream while upside down in the river. But none of my alarms are making noise. I have at least 3 set that should be going off. I don't hear any of them. I hear the vibration from it, but that's not waking me up. I need to be like motivated to wake up. Oh man, I don't know. But anyway, we stayed up last night. We went to see the Mario movie, the Mario Galaxy movie, and my gosh, what a good movie. It's not deep. All right, first I would say that, like the criticisms that people talk about, it's not deep. And it was just a lot of fun. It was just a fun, action-packed movie that went from, you know, plot point to plot point really fast, and that was fine. I enjoyed it. It was great. The best part of the movie was Fox McCloud, Star Fox. I love the way they characterized him, they wrote him. It was fantastic. But the plot itself was fun. They mashed up pretty much all of the 3D Mario game stories together in some kind of way, plus a couple of other Mario games. But it was worth seeing. If you haven't seen it yet, I definitely, you know, it's fun. It was a fun watch. I'll watch it again when it's out on like streaming or Blu-ray or whatever. Is it tied to my ringer volume? I don't know. That's the thing I have not figured out with these alarms. Because I will go and I will set it and I'll test it. I'm like, that's plenty loud. Like, I have one set for 6 a.m. and one set for 6:15, and then I have a normal one set for 5:15. That's for when my wife is at work, which she's off this week, so I have that one turned off. So I need to be getting up by like 6, and then my 6:15 one, and neither of them are making noise. Like, I just don't know. Because, like, my ringer stays pretty loud most of the time. I just cannot figure out what to do. I don't know. May just need to restart. You know, maybe that's what we need. Right. We have an old school clock in our room. I'm noticing stuff that's just not been working. Thanks, Fix It Up.
Welcome back.
A restart on live. Yeah, you know, let's just restart. Hey, you know what? While we're at it, I usually wait till Friday, but let's update the watch time while we're hanging out here. We got game news to talk about. We're just sitting here chatting. We got quite a bit to talk about. Pokemon Champions came out, and it is very odd that they released it in the state it's in, and I really wonder what's going on with the team that worked on that game. Yo, thanks for joining over on YouTube. Guys, if you haven't already, we are I am pushing for YouTube partnership, which just requires watch time from you guys. So if you guys have the stream pulled up somewhere, open a new tab, go to YouTube, pull up the stream there. Also, you can mute the tab, drop a like on the video, and drop a thumbs up emoji in chat to let me know that you went over there. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, please do so. It is a very active place for most of my content, especially for I plan on getting back to posting short form content here pretty soon. I kind of got off track the last like month or so, but I do intend to come back to that. It's just, if you want to keep up with it, that'll be where it's posted, along with other platforms that do short form as well. It's just, that's kind of the main one for me. So, you know, definitely subscribe to YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, I mean, thanks for being here. That's my primary like live platform, right? Like, that's where we've been the longest. But growth on YouTube has a lot more weight to it than it does on Twitch. So we're definitely trying to push there. Anyway, all right, well, let's jump into some game news and chatting about all these wonderful stories. And we'll start with Pokemon Champions. We're just gonna jump right into it because why not? Here we go. All right, Pokemon Champions makes a poor first impression on fans with 6v6 single battles, popular items, and hundreds of pocket piles missing, going from the perfection of Pokopia to this ... whiplash. So yeah, Pokemon Champions is finally here, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to be a winner as far as players are concerned, with complaints about its visuals and limitations on the competitive battles it's made for. Champions is free-to-play, battle-focused game somewhat akin to the likes of Pokemon Stadium, serving as a PvP battle hub that allows you to use Pokemon you've trained in previous games, or brand new ones recruited via a gacha-like system in-game. It's also soon set to be the title used for official VGC tournaments, including the massive World Championships, so it's a big deal, with a lot of pressure from fans hoping for either as good of a VGC experience as they can get in, say, Scarlet and Violet, or better. Well, a few hours after Champions launch, and it doesn't appear to have succeeded there yet, Joe Merrick, owner of the unofficial Pokemon site Cerebi, puts it, going for the perfection of Pokopia to this whiplash. So, kind of ridiculous, that this is like the big title that launched and it's already in a rough state. How did they approve this? Like, how did they not know? Well, they know. They knew. There's no way they didn't know. Merrick is particularly disappointed about the lack of available items for Pokemon to use. Per his own records on Cerebi, there are currently only 30 items that aren't Mega Stones and Berries, and that list is missing popular staples like the Life Orb, Choice Band, Choice Specs, and Assault Vest. Needless to say, this is going to have a huge impact on players whose favorite teams relied on items they no longer have access to. He's quoted, "I've got to say the lack of item options is going to hurt this game in the short term, and I think very much damage VGC in general when VGC shifts over next month. What on earth were they thinking?" And that's on top of a limited available pool of Pokemon. This blew my mind. Currently, there's reportedly a total of 185 Pokemon to use, not even close to the series' full list of over 1,000 creatures. With that said, producer Masaki Hoshino previously told me that we want to include as many Pokemon as possible in Champions, but that the current plan was to have a limited selection available, but shifting over time, in order to keep the game from getting too complicated, especially going into the future when more and more Pokemon are created. So we knew some sort of limit would be in place here, but the actual number seems to come as a surprise to some. That sounds like they're going to do rotating windows of like what's allowed per like seasons or however they break it up. That's odd though, because there's so many different types of Pokemon teams people like to use, and if you do like a seasonal rotation or a quarterly rotation, whatever you end up doing, you're going to make people like have to completely rebuild teams. And maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's just part of the challenge. But I think that's going to turn a lot of longtime players, or at least legacy VGC players, away. Because if something's in a season that they don't like use or not familiar with, they'll have to learn it. But that could also mean maybe there's like a, just a feature or something that they don't want to deal with. Because, a certain Pokemon's allowed or not allowed. I don't know. That just seems odd, given that they've been talking about this being the platform for competitive Pokemon as far as the video game side of it goes. Not having every available option. Maybe not at launch. Maybe this should have been a softer launch, though, than, hey, the game's out. Given this news, Another major blow for many is lack of 6v6 single battles. No 6v6 single battles in Pokemon Champions makes me so sad, writes Pokemon content creator Raidaway Plus. While PokeAim MD writes, "How can you advertise the game as play the way you want and not let me do 6v6 private lobbies?" That's odd. That's just weird. What's more, there are also complaints about the way Champions looks and runs, even on Switch 2. Why the blank does it look like this? Why is it running at 30 FPS? One writes. While another post reads, why is Champions in 30 FPS? Are we serious, bro? I have a Switch 2. It's 2026. Hello. So it's hardly a great start so far. Something that's well worth keeping in mind is a potential positive, though, as the fact that being a live service game means Champions is going to be continually updated, and therefore the devs will be able to, in theory, action feedback like this. Producer Hoshino told me that the plan is to keep Pokemon Champions going far into the future, basically forever as long as the Pokemon series is continuing. So it's in the devs' interest to make players happy. We'll just have to see if they're able to turn things around from this shaky launch. And I guess that's the core of it. It is a live service game. They released, this was their release candidate release version, and it's what they stuck with. So, it's weird. But I do have some other points of interest here. Could be like Hearthstone, you have your base mon, and they never change it, and a rotating set. Yeah, that's fair. Jacob, thanks for the nice comments about my beard. Are we gonna move over? No, I'm guessing that the profile didn't actually change. There we go. All right. So then Central Leaks has another take. Pokemon Champions, terrible launch. Less Pokemon than Stadium 2, which is wild. No 6v6 battles. Performance issues even on Switch 2. Slow, clunky menus. Always online required. No more local wireless battles. This is an odd choice, being as it's on Switch and mobile. Like, why can't I do like a local or private lobby? Like, why do I always have to be on the internet? I don't like that. Tons of competitive items removed, which you're talking about. rental teams becoming completely useless. That's the thing. If you're not transferring Pokemon from home, some of these rental teams are terrible. Have to add all your friends again. It doesn't use your Switch friend list, and then there's no single player content at all. Like, what? Is there no like AI ladder climb, you know, or some kind of mission based thing to earn in-game anything? It's all purely online. You know, I don't know. It feels like it's missing a lot from what should be the definitive battling experience for Pokemon, and especially going forward. And then I saw this as well. PSA is a massive bug with transferring Pokemon between home and champions. Error displays when attempting to send home mons to champs. Those Pokemon can no longer be moved to champs, traded in home, or moved back to Scarlet Violet. They're basically trapped in limbo. So they get stuck because there's an error. It says if you try to trade the Pokemon you sent to champions that gave an error, the message is placed saying they're in champions and cannot be traded. So you like lend your Pokemon to Pokemon champions, but if champions doesn't actually receive it, home goes, but your Pokemon's still lent to champions, and it just gets stuck. I assume they'll be able to fix this, but this is kind of terrible because this is like a key feature of the game, is to be able to take your Pokemon from the games you've been playing, put them in champions, build your team in champions, and then, you know, you earn whatever you get, but then send them back to home to where they will stay forever in their Pokemon boxes. But like, seriously, like that, it's like the key features like that are not working. It's rough. It's rough. I don't mean to jump ahead. I thought I had another thing for champions, but yeah, it's kind of odd. I don't know what the heck they were thinking with this release to do it this way. It just seems like they decided that this minimum set of features was good enough, and then people are discovering more and more bugs and more issues that really shouldn't be plaguing a Pokemon battling game. Like, we should know how Pokemon battles work. And, you know, I've been seeing bug after bug being reported. There's one where an item was used that a Pokemon wasn't even holding, and it tripped up like the turn order. There was one I saw where they were trying to figure out how to like do the order for Mega Evolutions, and it seems the game doesn't really work that turn order out, and so it's seemingly random once you pick to Mega Evolve what like whose turn it's about to be. And that's kind of weird. You know, like, a lot of this has been solved in previous games. Why aren't we like basing it on that existing code, or at least the existing logic? Because the code might be different, but the logic shouldn't be so different that you can't replicate it. But maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. I really hope they can work this out. I do want to check out Pokemon Champions. It might get me into like Pokemon battling on that level, or at all, because I only do it in the games because it's part of the story. I don't really do the multiplayer side, but it'd be kind of fun to do some like battle nights on stream or something, you know. And I don't want to touch that right now. I'm gonna download it and check it out, but I'm not gonna bring any Pokemon over from home. I'm not gonna fool with it much at all in that regard until I know that those things are functional, because I just don't want to deal with it mostly. You know, I don't want to get things stuck. But hopefully they figure this out soon, because that's ridiculous. All right, let's jump into our next topic here. Mario 64 Star Fox programmer says devs weren't historically given free copies of their games, so they had to wait until supply caught up with demand if their work sold out. I thought this was interesting. Fox McCloud's original designer isn't getting an early screening of the Mario Galaxy movie either. So Fox McCloud's designer isn't getting an early screening of Mario Galaxy movie, though a former Nintendo developer who worked on the likes of Star Fox and Mario 64 says that sort of thing has been the norm for a while, as even working on a game doesn't guarantee you a copy of it. Yo, Brent, good to see ya. Earlier this week, the character designer for Star Fox, Takaya Imamura, said that despite creating Fox McCloud, he won't be getting the chance to see his character in the Super Mario Galaxy movie earlier than the rest of Japan, where the movie is set to release later this month on April 24th. In a tweet translated by Genki Japan, Imamura speculated that it was due to a common practice among Japanese companies of drawing a line with people who quit. Another Star Fox veteran, Giles Goddard, who helped develop the original game alongside his former Argonaut co-workers before going on to work on titles like Stunt Race FX, Super Mario 64, and 1080 Snowboarding, chimed in with his own experience. Responding to Genki, Goddard says, "We weren't given copies of the game back then either," he explains. "We used to sell out in stores, so we'd wait until supply caught up with demand." Granted, I don't think Imamura is too cut up about things as when Fox McCloud was revealed for the Mario Galaxy movie, and one of the biggest spoiler marketing moves in a hot minute. He said he was overwhelmed with emotion and thanked Shigeru Miyamoto for including the character, and given that Glenn Powell's Fox is a lot of people's favorite part of the film, I'm sure he's overjoyed. Maybe they'll invite him along if a Star Fox movie ever gets made. I know it was my favorite part of the movie. There's so many good parts of the movie. I'm just hoping for this new Star Fox game, right? Like that's what I'm still on the fence. On the fence. That's what I'm really excited about. I'm not on the fence about it. I know what I want. I want a new Star Fox game. Speaking of which, so the announcement for that rumored new Star Fox game is supposed to arrive this month, possibly. And insiders claim that Nintendo will reveal their upcoming Star Fox title this month. It seems Star Fox has suddenly become highly popular in the past few weeks. First, we saw the character being revealed for the upcoming Mario Galaxy movie. Soon after, we were also informed that a new Star Fox game will return in summer 26, and now we know its announcement window. So the information about the announcement window for the new Star Fox game comes from the reliable insider Nate the Hate, spoiling everything for us. In a recent post on X, he stated that the upcoming title will be announced this month via Nintendo Today or Twitter. That's an odd choice. While the exact announcement date and release date have not been revealed, players should keep their eyes peeled for updates from Nintendo Today and Twitter, as the announcement could happen at any time this month. So seeing as how we're in the 8th day of April, that's a lot of days to be checking the Nintendo Today app, but I guess if you want to keep up with the Nintendo news and announcements like that, you should absolutely be refreshing or checking it once a day, I guess. They usually update it in the mornings, at least here in the States. I guess it's middle of the night Japan time. So when I check it, I know it's like I'm usually looking for something specific that I've been told is on there. They recently just did a promotion with the Galaxy movie where there were like virtual trading cards or whatever you could collect by like checking it each day. That was kind of a neat promotion. I didn't do that. It didn't interest me much at all, but it was still an interesting reason to get people to open up the app. Not much information is available about the upcoming title in the popular third-person action-adventure series. According to insider sources, players can expect a classic-style Star Fox game with very satisfying visuals and online multiplayer features. This is all that has been revealed so far. More details will be shared once the official announcement is made. Till then, players can check out who's playing Fox McCloud in the upcoming movie. So, yeah. Also, the Pikmin cameo in the Mario Galaxy movie was adorable as well. But yeah, I'm just excited for this Star Fox game. I'm hoping it's not just a port or another remake. I'm hoping it's, a brand new title with a brand new story and like updated gameplay. It'd be awesome. Some online multiplayer would be cool. Some just modern features, but Star Fox. That's what we want, right? All right, let's move on. Okay, so hey, if you haven't picked up a Switch 2 yet and you have the Mario Galaxy bug, you can get $20 off a Switch 2 if you purchase it with Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Which makes the Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 roughly $50 instead of the $70 they're charging for the bundle. So from April 12th to May 9th, anyone who buys a Switch 2 console along with Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 will get $20 off the combined price. Nintendo says the offer is valid at all participating U.S. retailers, including Amazon, Best Buy, GameStop, Target, and Walmart, and includes online and in-store purchases. The deal also counts for both physical and digital versions of Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Those wishing to buy it digitally must buy a download card from the same retailer. So, that's not a bad deal. It's a discount, which is better than no discount, but it's not a phenomenal discount given, all the talks about price increases and price changes and everything. I do think if you are on the fence about a Switch 2, you might want to, yeah, like I said with the PS5 Pro, you might want to jump on it sooner than later with all the rumors of Nintendo possibly having to increase the Switch price towards the year end. Games aren't going to go up as far as I can tell, but console hardware is definitely going to go up, and you might want to check it out. It's good to see you this morning. I hope you're having a good morning. How's it been, man? But yeah, good discount. I read this. I don't think I'm going to jump into the article, but Crimson Desert players are literally running out of enemies to fight after blasting to the end game. Pearl Abyss needs to address the map. Apparently, Crimson Desert has enough content to keep players trapped in its starting area for 136 hours. But once they manage to break away and pursue the end game, some are claiming their to-do lists have become uncharacteristically empty. So that's kind of wild. At home today, trading cards on TCG Pocket. Nice. Very cool. It's just weird. Like, how would you run out of enemies in the end game? Like, why are there not areas where enemies are respawning or bosses are refightable in some kind of way? I don't know. That's weird. I'm not really gonna read into this. I don't know. It's not in the mood. All right, I thought this was cool. No Man's Sky Xeno Arena update lets you raise, train, and battle alien creatures found across the universe. It's inspired by Pokemon and Power World and World of Warcraft's pet battling. You can battle against NPCs, friends, and other players. A new No Man's Sky update's going live today, and it's a huge one for the Pokemon-loving creature-collecting sickos like me. That's the author's words, not mine. I don't call myself a sicko. Because Xeno Arena is all about raising and battling the many alien creatures found in Hello Games' vast universe. Hello Games managing director Sean Murray has been teasing something for the last few days in his own traditional fashion via emojis. This time he's been filling his Twitter feed with stadiums, or so we thought, as he was clearly going for the arena part of the new update's name instead. Xeno Arena lets you raise, train, and battle alien creatures found across the universe, Murray now explains. Most of the planets you visited in your travels have always been teeming with wildlife, and now, for the first time, those creatures are not just your companions, but your squad and maybe your champions. Ooh, shots fired. Just kidding. As Murray puts it, Hello Games has already got a whole universe filled with an infinite variety of creatures, including everything from dinosaurs to flying cows to robots to gaseous blobs. But what if they could be more than just wildlife? What if, say, someone wanted to catch them all? We started with this thought that you could discover them and name them, but what if all that variety had a gameplay purpose? What if you could collect them, breed them, have them as pets, but also battle them? Man. He just went, hey, what if they were Pokemon? When it comes to creature collecting mechanics like these, it's impossible to escape comparisons to games like Pokemon, but Hello Games isn't shying away from that. In fact, Murray even points to the series directly alongside a couple of other inspirations. We're huge fans of Pokemon, Power World, and pet battling in World of Warcraft, he shares. Now, when discovering a rare robotic creature in a far-flung purple system planet, you can check their abilities and, for instance, discover a powerful neutron blast attack. Suddenly, it brings a new dimension to exploration. Rare creatures and beautiful pets become something exciting to show off in the arena. So that sounds awesome. I was kind of hoping they put the trailer here, but they did not. That is sad. There was a trailer showing it off. I didn't pull it up. That's my bad. But yeah, so if you like No Man's Sky, it's now got a Pokemon element to it. They have just updated the game so much. There are so many features in No Man's Sky that it is a totally different game than it was at launch. And that's kind of cool to see, because it was a disappointing launch, and they have made up for that plus. Like it just keeps getting better. So it's super encouraging. I'm glad that they've found success with this game. And they're just kind of doing whatever they want as they get ready for their next title as well, which I believe is Light No Fire. I don't know. That's Ginger Prime's arena. He knows all about that. That's not Chrono's arena. I'm more of a colorful, easy to entertain creator. And Ginger and the rest of the gaming roundtable plays real games while I'm over here stuck in Nintendo land. And I'm okay with that. I know who I All right. The Switch 2 version of 007 First Light has been delayed until this summer. Okay. This is kind of disappointing if you're looking forward to getting this game on Switch 2. They had to delay, but it's coming out on time everywhere else on May 27th. You'll just have to wait till later in the summer, which, what if it was just like, June 1st? It's like, oh, it wasn't that bad of a wait. I don't know what the delay is. The game had already been delayed on all formats. Its original release date was planned to be March 27th, before IO Interactive announced it had been put back by 2 months. 007 First Light is our most ambitious project to date. The team has been fully focused on delivering an unforgettable James Bond experience, bringing together breathtaking action, globe-trotting spycraft gadgets, car chases, and more. IO Interactive CEO and game director Hakan Abrak said at the time, as an independent developer and publisher, this decision allows us to ensure the experience meets the level of quality you players deserve on day one. The game is progressing well, fully playable from beginning to end, so these additional 2 months will allow us to further polish and refine the experience, ensuring we deliver the strongest possible version at launch. Oh, I guess it's the initial delay. I don't know. Interesting. Anyway, should be cool. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up at launch, but I'm definitely looking forward to the game. I like the James Bond movies and stuff. Grew up watching them. On when they would do the James Bond weekends on cable TV, whatever channels those were. You could just watch it like all week or all weekend. Yeah. Anyway, all right, let's move on. All right, Assassin's Creed Shadows update adds PSSR 2 and upscaling for PS5 Pro, plus keyboard and mouse support on Switch 2. Players can also find bow weapons without the claws of Awaji expansion, which is kind of cool. So the 1.1.10 patch is available on all formats, adds PSSR 2 support for PS5 Pro players. The tech has been rolling out to numerous games over the past few. Oh yeah, so PSSR 2 is like the upgraded version of the original PlayStation super sampling tech. They had to do a new version because the original version was junk and made games look worse. So they got this new version out on the PS5 Pro that apparently is doing really well, and a ton of games are getting support for it slowly but surely. So as well as PSSR 2, the new update also adds keyboard and mouse support for the Switch 2 version of the game, giving players another control option on Nintendo's console. That's kind of surprising. Like, if I play it on a Switch 2, I guess I could use one Joy-Con as a mouse, but a keyboard, I don't know. I think third-person, like, action or any kind of action games with a keyboard and mouse are just not as fun. I don't feel like you can be as precise with movement, or if you're trying to, like, walk or, like, traverse in a very precise way. I hate that a keyboard is like, it's just super linear. You're pressing the key to move forward, or you're not pressing it to move forward. And that's how keyboards work. I'm not saying it's a knock against keyboard and mouse. I'm just saying that the controls don't lend to kind of that adaptable movement that an analog stick does. Plus, it's not really competitive. I don't need a keyboard and mouse reaction time to enjoy the combat in a game. I haven't played Assassin's Creed Shadows. I just don't see playing it with a keyboard and mouse as being an enjoyable experience. Let's see. Other additions for players in all formats include the ability to now find bow weapons in the main game. Bow staffs were previously only in the Claws of Awaji expansion, but now everyone can use them. With excellent gameplay, a compelling narrative, and a massive, beautiful world to explore, it's so much better than many expected it to be. Even if it's not the game that saves Ubisoft, it did exactly what it needed to do, bringing confidence back to one of modern gaming's biggest and most troubled franchises. So that's cool. This bug list here, I'm not going through all of that. We're not reading that. Let's move on. Speaking of Assassin's Creed, Black Flag remake announcement is planned for next week. We knew Resynced was coming. I think it was called Black Flag Resynced, and that is definitely coming out at some point from Ubisoft. They've been working on it for how many years now? I feel like we knew about this remake back in like 2018. 2019, did we get rumors of it? Well, now it's definitely going to be announced at some point soon. We knew that they showed the logo for Resynced during the last earnings call, I believe. And now I guess we're getting a release date announcement that it exists, maybe official confirmation that we're getting the game hopefully soon. Where does it say? Where does it say this? I'm like scanning this. New report claims the Black Flag remake called Resynced is set to be announced next week, according to Resetera user Blackbait, who said that the announcement is currently planned for April 16th. So there we go. Perfect. So looking at next week, they said often citing mid-April release window. Is it going to be a shadow drop? Just curious. It could be, as long as they've been working on it. I'm wondering, did they do like a ground up remake, or did they? It's taken so long. It sounds like they did a full on remake of this game. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I really enjoyed Black Flag. It was a lot of fun. I didn't do any of the DLC for it. And then I went straight to playing Assassin's Creed Rogue. And got kind of bored because they kind of, it's like you play Black Flag and have your pirates, your ship and stuff all updated and upgraded. And you're like super powerful. And then you go to play Rogue and it's like, oh, I'm starting over again. It's like, I played them too close together is what it is. All right. Overwatch reveals Honoron redesign following player and voice actor backlash. I don't think that was so much backlash. They just didn't expect the character to look like she did. The character's been tweaked to look more sincere and more mature. I don't know, guys. I didn't care what the character looked like. I saw what people were talking about online, comparing it to like the animated character intro and stuff. I don't see that this makes. I see like that they changed the eye shape a little bit, thinned out the eyebrows. I don't know about more mature. It just she looks more serious, and I guess that's what they were going for. Blizzard has revealed the promised redesign for Overwatch character Honoron after players and her voice actor said she didn't look right. So when she was announced, people were just like, she doesn't look like she's supposed to, and then they did the update. I guess that's fine. I didn't care one way or the other, but it was cool. All right. Halo campaign evolved. Hey, we're getting more info on this, which means the release date is getting closer and closer the more we realize it. The more I realize that, what time of year it is, I guess we are getting closer to the official release date. But campaign evolved early access and release dates have reportedly leaked. So a new leak has seemingly revealed the early access and release dates for Halo Campaign Evolved set for July 2026. Kind of what I felt was going to happen. We've been learning a lot of new information about Halo Campaign Evolved recently. Earlier this week, we were informed that the title was playable from start to finish and would also feature a customized skin system. Now the latest leak reveals when we should expect the game to release on all platforms. Known Halo data miner Grunt.api has recently posted a cryptic tweet on X that has caught every Halo Campaign Evolved fan's attention. The post itself includes two math equations. We're just not going to read any of this. It's just a lot of letters and numbers, chat. Just a lot of math. And math is for nerds. Players speculate that EA stands for early access and or for official release, with the math equations seemingly pointing towards the corresponding dates for the Halo Campaign Evolved. Some players in the comments section have solved the equation and concluded that the early access date for Halo Campaign Evolved is Thursday, July 23rd, and the official release date is on Tuesday, July 28th. Players should take this information with a huge grain of salt given its cryptic nature and the fact that it doesn't come from an official source. Grunt.api has a solid track record of Halo leaks, and if this is true, players might see the official announcement during the Xbox Game Showcase, and pre-orders might go live as well. However, we have to wait for an announcement from the devs to know for sure. That's kind of what I've expected from, that showcase is going to give us Halo news, Forza news, and all the other news, for the rest of the year for Xbox going into next year. And I'm not expecting any new major announcements from Xbox until that showcase as far as games go. Hardware could be on the table at any point because they're just doing all sorts of new stuff with Asha Sharma leading the way. Though with the trouble at Halo Studios, I'm hoping this doesn't get impacted. I don't think it will, but I'm really hoping that we can get our hands on this game soon. I've been wanting to check it out. I'm hoping it plays like the original, just newer. I don't know what I'm hoping for, really. I say I hope it plays like the original but newer, but what does newer really mean? Does it have sprint? I mean, yeah, they've talked about it having sprint, but is that what newer is in this case? I don't know. I'm just looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to more Halo. Even as a remake, it should still be fun. All right, new Forza Horizon 6 limited edition Xbox accessories revealed. So this game's getting closer, and I'm hoping they have some pictures. I just want to see pictures. I guess they don't. Maybe here? Maybe not. Ah, here we go. Forza Horizon 6 accessories. Let's translate to English because, I'm American. I don't know how to read. They don't have pictures. They just have the fact that this stuff exists. Because that's the old one, and that's a Doom controller, and that's Starfield. So we've been bamboozled, chat. Alright, so new stuff's coming out. Alright, Sony's beta testing new PlayStation 5 UI. It appears that Sony's quietly rolling out a new UI for PlayStation 5, with numerous fans reporting changes being made to the console's home screen to make it reminiscent of the PlayStation 4. It's not a complete overhaul, like some might be wishing for, with no console themes included, but it does add a new menu bar to the top left of the screen, replacing the original Games and Media tabs. Games and Media replaced in PS5 UI update. Based on the images being shared online, the original tabs in the top left of PlayStation 5 home screen are being replaced with 5 new ones. These appear to be PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Store, Games, Games Library, Media. You can now switch between them using L1 and R1, and it's clear that Sony's trying to improve the navigation of the home screen. Now, instead of scrolling all the way to the end of your downloaded games to explore your games library, you can simply go there with the press of a button. And so here we have a look at it via Reddit. I don't know if I want to make it bigger or not. Can we? That was a lot to zoom in. Okay. So yeah, we have the L1 and R1 like markers, and then the individual tabs for things. It should be cool. I haven't had a problem with the PlayStation 5 like UI. I don't know if other people have, but interesting. It works well enough. It's very snappy. I'll say that. I like when a UI is just responsive. See, naturally, it means you can find your way to PlayStation Store quicker than ever, which is bound to be a big selling point for the executives. However, it does seem to generally improve the usability of the console's home screen, with fan reception seemingly net positive. As for when you can get this updated UI, that still remains unclear. It was suspected that you had to be part of Sony's beta program to experience the changes, but some fans are reporting that their consoles have updated despite not being a member. With that in mind, keep an eye on your PS5 as it could be getting an overhaul in the near future. So if you haven't updated your PS5 or you've been looking forward to an update, keep an eye out. It may just be rolling out. I don't know. All right. And our last article for today, PlayStation announces the player base, a new way to get fans into games. Like literally into games, not interested into games. Interested in games, but like physically, like Tron, no, I'm just kidding. PlayStation has announced a new community program called the Player Base, which will bring select fans into PlayStation Studios games. The announcement of the Player Base comes close to a year after their loyalty program, PlayStation Stars, announced the shutdown. Now the new program is very different and much more inclusive for players, as it's not just about creating an avatar for a player around a game, but about actually creating characters that will be available in games, starting with Gran Turismo. PlayStation's The Player Base will start by putting select players in Gran Turismo 7. A new blog post reveals details on PlayStation's new community program, The Player Base. The program will scan the selected player's likeness and have them appear in a PlayStation game. The first game included in the program is Gran Turismo 7, and players from select markets in the Americas, Europe, Asia, South Africa, and Australia can submit their applications through this website starting April 7th. Okay, the application will require players to answer some questions, sign in with their PlayStation ID, and share additional information to participate. There will be a review process, after which a number of finalists will be invited to video interviews to discuss their connection with PlayStation. Out of the finalists, one PlayStation fan will be selected to be featured in Gran Turismo 7. PlayStation's player base will provide players a special limited time appearance as an in-game character portrait. Similar to how characters are presented throughout the game, the fan will also help design a custom fantasy logo and one-of-a-kind vehicle livery, which will be added permanently to the showcase menu. The fan will have to visit the visual arts studio in Los Angeles to be scanned and collaborate with the designer for the logo and livery. So that's kind of cool. I wonder how they'll support that long term. But I still think that's an interesting thing, and a way to, I guess, get fans connected to your games a little more. I don't know. I don't know if it's better than PlayStation Stars. I thought Stars was interesting because of the little digital collectibles. They don't mean a whole lot, but they're there. But anyway, that's all I got for the game news today, y'all. As we wind this down for the day. I do want to check out Pokemon Champions. I don't know if I will on stream or not. I've also been playing the Dissidia game that came out on mobile recently. I don't know if anybody's tried that. I forgot the full name of it. It's got such a long name, but it's the Final Fantasy Dissidia game that's on iPhone and Android. It uses a controller though. Like you can use your Bluetooth controller with it. It's super cool. It's been a lot of fun. I thought about streaming that some soon. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the game news. I don't have much else. I'm looking forward to a lot of things. This summer is going to be really interesting, just with all the announcements and stuff. Really still sitting here hoping that whoever's running Pokemon Champions can figure this game out. It should not be in the state it's in, and yet it's in the state it's in. That's really a big bummer. But maybe that's why the mobile version isn't out yet, you know? Maybe they expect the mobile version to be a big hit, and so they're just waiting to work out some of the major bugs with the console release and then get the mobile version out there. I don't know. All right, guys. Well, if you've made it all the way to the end, make sure you've already hit that like button. I really appreciate it. It helps me out a ton as we try to earn your watch time. I appreciate you guys being here. The watch time goal that you see on screen, that's just for the phase 1. That's just to get YouTube memberships enabled. Once we get there and start doing memberships, we'll start doing some more goals for gaining memberships, you guys signing up, some more incentives, some exclusive content, that kind of stuff. But we got to get there first. Before we can turn those things on. And I'm excited for all of that. But, you know, if we got to do the work, that means I got to earn your watch time. If you guys do like the channel, please go watch any of the playlists that are available on there. Leave likes on the videos you like. Leave dislikes on the videos you dislike. It doesn't matter to me. Let me know what you guys think in comments. And thanks for being here. I do have to start work though, so I'm gonna find somebody over on Twitch to raid. If you're watching on YouTube, if you hang out, you'll be redirected to Reforge Gaming. Lano is doing his daily game news, and his community is much more passionate. And he's a lot more animated than I am about a lot of different articles and topics and things. So if you like that, check it out on Twitch. Who are we gonna raid though? Let's send it over to, I don't know who. Let's see. Pastor Susie is doing a co-working stream. Let's do that. Let's send it over there. Good Christian dude. Obviously, he's a pastor. Anyway. All right. Love you guys. Y'all have a great day, and I will see ya tomorrow. Tomorrow night is what we're gonna do. I think Pocopia, but it could be something else. Anyway, love you guys. See ya.